Hey friends, so in today's video I wanted to talk about the new use cases that Google's newly released image model Nano Banana 2, the successor to Nano Banana and Nano Banana Pro, now unlocks with web search capabilities enabled. Yes, that's correct. So you can now use Nano Banana 2 enabling web search so that it can pull data from Google search. It can find images vis-a-vis Google Images and again get you up-to-date results that will then allow you to enrich your image generation, and you don't have to provide that data anymore in the image prompt. On top of the fact, just you've heard it here before, that the model is also cheaper, 50% cheaper, and substantially faster at generating images, thanks to the fact that it uses Gemini Flash 3.1 in the backend. And so with that out of the way, I wanted to go through 5 use cases again that web search now enables. Now, before we do this, just so you know, the product that you're seeing here is called Genviral. I'm one of the founders, and here we are in the native AI studio where you have, as you can see, access to Nano Banana 2. Now, what I want to see and do is then create an image with this aspect ratio quality, that's fine, and web search enabled. Now, while I do one thing, web search costs 15 cents. That's at least what our API provider charges, which means if you have web search enabled, then on top of the 8 cents that 1 or 2K image costs, you will have to pay another 15 cents. Just so that you know that as well, if you want a 4K quality, then it will cost 16 cents plus if web search is enabled, that's another 15 cents. So the first use case, as we just maybe can summarize, is to find real-time news data based on EV trends. The second one is to search how Nano Banana 2 is being perceived by the tech community. And so let's get that one out of the way as well. And then the third one is search the web for culture relevant visual references for coffee advertising in Tokyo, Japan. All right, cool. So something Tokyo and advertising related. So that would be also, let's make that actually just a little wider. And again, with Genviral, our product, just that you know that as well, in case you're new and not aware, you can generate 3 images concurrently, and as you can see here, you don't have the star, the tray, the watermark. So these images are created or being created without the watermark. So the first one, EV revolution. So the one thing that obviously you have to or can do on top is, if you have a certain branding style, what you can then do is just to attach 1 or 2 reference images. Let's say, for example, if this cookbook style were a branding style of yours, the one that you, for example, see here, then you can attach these images here by providing them as context, and then say, okay, please, when you create this, make it in the style of this cookbook recipe. And so let's see on the second one. So the second one, just to reiterate, was magazine article spread. So how Google's launch has been perceived by the tech community. Yeah, so again, as I said, basically the flash speed. Let me actually just enhance the image. The banana split, no banana is here, and it's absolutely good, so I like that. The text looks pretty decent at first glance. Actually, even the whole article has been generated, I believe, so in the style of Wired. So again, depending on the style that you want, obviously make sure that, again, you bring your own branding, that you don't use something that's copyrighted. Now, the third one was a Japanese localized ad. Now, the fourth one is web search or web data from NASA's major division and active missions as of 2026. So let's do that. And then the final one would be consistent character. So it would, in this case, place like a dog in front of a Colosseum in Rome. And again, cool use case if then, for example, you want to place your dog in front of something where Google doesn't have maybe that much training data. And I believe that's one of the ways that it can achieve this in the backend, where it just pulls the image, it already enriches the generation with that image, and then using Flash, because it's just much faster. Consequently, the generations themselves also feel just slightly faster. That's at least been my experience. I've now used it since launch quite extensively, obviously, also as we've integrated and tested it. And I find it generally to be on par with Nano Banana Pro in terms of the accuracy. of text. So I rarely see issues with text being out of whack or not accurate. Also, the hyperrealism, the generation of characters, is really, really good. As you can here see, for example, we publish these on one of our cooking apps on our website. And let's maybe go to that one, by the way, was also generated as a template that we have here. And again, with Nano Banana 2 as the model. And also we can see here is the dog placed. Again, we asked it to be a cartoon dog, not that you are surprised why the dog is a cartoon. And again, you could insert your dog, and finally then the diagram of NASA's divisions and missions. I'll actually be curious, major missions. That's pretty cool. I'll make sure to check that after this video is done. Don't want to bore you with boring space stuff. No. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Again, there's so many more use cases that web search now unlocks. I do also believe that it's really well worth the money, and over time costs are going to decrease normally. Just like with the launch of Nano Banana Pro, Google obviously wants to make money on these things as long as they can, but as other competing models are also being released, which may or may not be equally good, or I assume will eventually be equally good, obviously that puts a little bit of pricing pressure. So over time also things such as web search will only get cheaper, and as such make the work that you can do with these, again, doing infographics about, for example, NBA events, or sorry, sports games, where you can literally integrate a price. You can use your own branding as a reference, especially if you have a rich corpus of data. If you're a popular brand, you can literally just tell, okay, we are brand ABC. Please search the web for our brand, for Instagram, for TikTok, whatever it may be, and then use some of that as the baseline for the generation of said image. And so, again, many use cases and unlocks. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I am, as I said, the founder of this product that I just showed you, Genviral. So if you have any questions, also feel free to let me know in the comment section. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.